Business Summit today and tomorrow. The theme of it is United by Legacy, Unified for Prosperity. The summit will be marked by an MOU that will be signed between Invest South Africa and Invest India. The purpose of the summit is to maximize the potential of the economic and commercial partnerships between the two countries. At a political level, the two countries are strategic partners and both belong to the Emerging Markets BRICS grouping, which is a vehicle created to foster growth as well as development among these nations. Well, our senior business reporter Hasina Kathrada is at the Sandton Convention Centre where the summit is taking place. Let's find out what she has for us now. Hasina, a very good evening to you. What do you have for us at this time?
Our President Ramaphosa has set a very ambitious target for investment, and we're putting out the red carpet. Frankly, we're hoping that we can attract more investments, deeper investments from India, as well as play our role in India. So the CEOs have done a tremendous job of identifying several opportunities. There will be a signature of an agreement between Invest India and Invest South Africa, which will allow these two agencies to work together. And I'm sure we've agreed already that there will be a program of ongoing engagements. So hopefully the relationship will go from strength to strength.
Thank you. In celebration of Tata Madiba's centenary, please give a message to the South African people.
Well, I think that Tata Madiba is a world figure. As Minister Prabhu said just now, Mahatma Gandhi cut his teeth politically and developed his techniques which eventually he struggled for independence in India. Here in South Africa, he's also a great icon. So I think that these two icons stay together as a big symbol of our relationship. And by the way, one of the other things why the trade relationship was historically not very strong was because India was the first country to actually proclaim sanctions against apartheid South Africa, something we haven't forgotten, an act of solidarity which we appreciate strongly in our own struggle for liberation.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Miller. We're now going to cross live.
Yes, please. Yes. SABC, please.
Yeah, but
now there will be live telecast from SABC. That was recorded, so now will be live. So we'll use the same backdrop, so it looks good. So SABC, are you starting?
Yeah, the thing is this thing is live, so just use seconds.
Okay, yeah, carry on.
No, it is here, but
Sweetie, phone us now. We're ready. Are you sure?
You need you to do the over shoulder thing. What you can do, ask them to move. Yeah, hey, you are ready.
No, tell them to just give us time to set up. This is not the setting. This is not our setting.
And then
Which side is it?
But they are on you.
Can they share?
Good evening, Alicia. Yes, in a short while, the first ever India-South Africa Business Summit 18 will be launched here at the Sandton Convention Centre. And the hashtag, if you've been following previews for this event, is one of the hashtags is India means business. And Alicia, India does seem to mean business this time. It's a glitzy event here at the convention centre. VIPs have started arriving, ministers, government representatives, CEOs, business leaders, all representing both India and South Africa. Now, this is essentially an event to promote growth in the economic sector. And with me here is the Minister of Trade and Industry, Rob Davies, and his India counterpart, Subesh Prabhu. And let's just hear from the two ministers who have met a short while ago, and let's see how discussions went between the two of them a short while ago. Minister Davies, thank you so much. Tell us a little bit more about your discussions with Minister Prabhu earlier today.
Well, I think what we essentially agreed was that while our trade and investment relations have increased over recent years, and India is now between our 6th and our 8th trading partner, year by year it can vary, and there's also a significant investment relationship both ways, there's a lot more that can be done. So, alongside the India-South Africa summit, there's been a meeting of CEOs forums, and we've had an engagement and interaction with them. And I think we've defined a number of sectoral opportunities that exist for us to expand our relations. I've also conveyed that South Africa is seeking a big push on investment. But I think that the climate is now one where we both see that there are opportunities, and not just opportunities, but that we can now make a big push to expand mutually beneficial relations. Of course, this is the year also of the centenary of Nelson Mandela, who is a figure revered around the world, of course. And I think the two icons of Mandela and Gandhi are commemorated as the sort of backdrop and the motivation for all these activities. So I think really what we've agreed is that we are seeking in a number of sectors work that will happen, and that we've identified platforms and opportunities for further engagements along the way, so that we keep up the pressure as ministers to make sure that whatever happens in terms of the relations with business people actually does translate into real meaningful economic relations.
Minister Prabhu, if I can bring you in here. India has a strong business footprint in South Africa. What are some of the potential areas for growth that you can see for this summit to take forward?
You know, this is the first time a summit like this is taking place. At a time when both the economies are on the threshold of growing faster. South Africa is making break from the past and to grow faster. The commodity prices in the world are increasing. That will benefit South Africa. India is almost 7.5% growth, and we hope to touch 8% very soon. At such time, we are discovering what can we do together. Something which will benefit South Africa, which will benefit India. There is an entrepreneurship in both the sides, which are done so well in some sectors. Can we replicate that into the other areas? For example, South Africa has huge natural resources, so is India. But South Africa has done pretty well in terms of actually exploiting them. So can we use the same technology in India? India has done very well in pharmaceuticals. We are now more or less like a generic capital of the world. Can we use those technologies, that knowledge for South Africa? There is a manufacturing which is now taking shape in India. We try to raise it to 20%, $1 trillion mark in manufacturing. We like to reach very soon. Can we use that ideas for development of small and medium enterprises in South Africa to benefit locals? Something like this. In agriculture, there's a tremendous scope. India is now the largest producer of fruits and vegetables, second largest producer of fruits and vegetables, largest producer of milk. Last year we produced 380 million tons of agriculture products, 400 million tons of horticulture products. Can we use that idea and do it here? South Africa is very good in processing. Can we use the food processing knowledge for India? Services, another very interesting sector. India's GDP, almost $3 trillion will come from services. Can we use that idea? And South Africa already has very strong services company, insurance companies, banking companies. Can we collaborate more and try to do it together? So there are immense potential. India has worked on a major program for skill development. Our Prime Minister is working on it. Can we not use that knowledge of Skill India for skilling people in South Africa? So the whole idea is we want to develop trade, investment and commerce, but that should benefit the people of South Africa, people of India. If the people don't benefit, it doesn't matter. That's what both the ministers, both of us have decided, that we'll focus on people through the trade route. Not trade alone, but trade for people. That's what we are trying to do.
Mr. Davies, what are the areas that you're most excited about for cooperation between the two countries?
Well, I think Minister Prabhu has already mentioned the mining technology. That's one area. Pharmaceuticals, we already have Indian companies invested in generic manufacturing here. I think we'd like to see a bit more of that. I think also the auto companies Well, I think there's a challenge for some of them to match some of their peers from other countries. There's a level of manufacturing in semi-knockdown kits. We'd like to see that go deeper. Also component manufacturing that would go along with that. Then I think the whole agriculture, agro-processing space, there are huge opportunities there as well. But in services, let's not forget that AXA is running the Mumbai airport and have the contract also for the rehabilitation of the Mumbai airport, doing a very good job there. Financial services, we have financial services companies in India. I think that really there's work like this. It is the product of the engagements already between the CEOs. We've also charged our investment authorities to drill down to the level of not just sectors but also even projects where we can collaborate and cooperate. But I think that there's a number of opportunities across several sectors, and if we keep up the momentum, I'm sure that they will result in decisions taken by business people that will be to the benefit of both our economies.
Excellent. We're looking forward to tomorrow's events and, keeping, of course, we'll be keeping you updated tomorrow with all the events happening here on the second day of the India-SA Summit 2018. We're about to go inside now where both ministers will deliver keynote addresses in a short while. Back to you, Alicia.
So much to Hasina Kathrada joining us live from the Sandton Convention Centre with the trade ministers there of India, Minister Suresh Prabhu, alongside our very own Minister of Trade and Industry, Rob Davies. Well, they're basically saying that skilling and is going to be a main focus of the summit, as well as looking at mining and engineering, as well as the auto sector. So those should be the focus. We will be definitely taking you inside those doors and discussions in Sandton.